I see Mark Cuban. Can I hear Mark Cuban? Moments away. We're still trying to get the audio there. He is ready now. Mark?
What's up, Dan?
Hi, bud.
How are you doing?
I'm good. What have you been doing at home?
A lot of the same. Watching my kids run my life and trying to pretend I'm still in charge with my wife. You know, the usual.
Do your kids think you're cool?
No, absolutely not. No.
Well, wait. You own the Mavericks. You seem to have some money. That's not impressive to your kids. Shark Tank? Come on.
No, they think they're cool, but they don't think I'm cool at all.
I love the story. I know you've talked about this before of flirting with running for the presidency, but you have to take inventory with your family.
Of course.
So, first of all, was it real that you were considering a run in 2012?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if your family voted for you to run for the presidency, would you have done it?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, so take me at dinner when you. So I'm assuming it's dinner, and then everybody gets a vote.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was one of those things like, okay, my wife and my oldest daughter are like, no, we've heard it. We hear everybody's asking us. Don't even think about it. And I'm like, can we at least take a vote? And everybody was no, except for my 10-year-old son. He was on the fence. He's like, but I think it would be cool to have Secret Service.
Okay.
And his sisters are like, no.
Well, that's a big commitment there. But I was wondering about that. It wasn't an anonymous poll. Like they're putting their hands up.
No, everybody.
You needed a lobbyist on your side, Mark.
Yeah. Well, consider they all voted no. It wouldn't matter if it was anonymous.
Help me out with this bubble here of understanding exactly what we're up against, because I have issues with it, but I'm called Danny Downer here. Like the NFL and college football, everybody just assumes, well, it's the NFL and college football. We're going to play football. I don't know. I don't know if we have a Rudy Gobert moment, and then what happens here, Mark?
I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's no question about it. But every day we learn a little bit more. It all comes down to the science and trying to do whatever we can to keep everybody safe. I think if you look at your own home or what you're doing there, when you have a controlled environment, you feel safer. And as long as, people adhere to the program, we hope we should be okay. If it's when you get the aberrational scenarios that we can't anticipate that I think creates some risk. But, as long as everybody's on board, I think we can pull it off.
Are you going to be there?
I will be there at least part of the time. We're shooting Shark Tank. We're finally opening up, allowed to shoot Shark Tank. So we're trying to squeeze it all in. I tried to get the mothership to allow us to shoot Shark Tank since it's an ABC show at Walt Disney World, but we haven't been able to pull that off yet.
We're talking to Mark Cuban. He's the Mavs owner. I saw a stat. I don't know if you even know this. The best winning percentage for an NBA team since 2001 is San Antonio.
Yep.
Second
and
best.
We're second.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I knew that.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, up until the last few years, we were pretty good, but having a big, tall German guy certainly helped quite a bit. And so, yeah, I mean, I screwed up some things letting Nash go, but overall, I mean, it wasn't a bad run.
Didn't I give you grief about getting rid of Nash back when you got rid of Nash?
Everybody gave me grief. Deservedly so.
I at least do it to your face, Mark. I don't, these writers.
I got so much. Oh, forget it. Yeah.
And we've talked about this before when you were interested in buying a baseball team, but if you looked at this as a businessman, what's going on in baseball? If I had you have the commissioner and the head of the Players Association, and you're the arbitrator, how could you bring baseball back that made the most sense? And we're just talking financially, because I don't know health-wise how we're going to be, but financially, how would you do it?
It certainly from the outside appears to be a matter of trust. And I can understand why they don't trust him. I mean, look at my experiences with him. It was very much, particularly under Bud Selig, it was autocratic. It was, his way or the highway, and, he'd give or take draft picks away. And so when somebody's in, when a business is run that way, and I don't know, if the current folks are doing it the same way, but when a business is run that way, it's really hard to trust. And the only thing really you can do is open the kimono and put all your economic information on the table. and let them see exactly what's going on. And that's just not how baseball operates.
Adam Silver, though, has that trust on both sides. It appears that way. I mean, do you think that he has that true trust on both sides?
Yeah, I mean, he's very collaborative. He's a great listener. He understands what the bigger picture is, not only just for the NBA, but also for our players and for the sport of basketball globally. And I think he takes on that responsibility. But Adam is not set in his ways. It's not, this is my way or the highway. He's very open to suggestions, no matter where they come from.
By the way, who would have been your running mate if you were running for the presidency?
You available?
No. You don't want that.
Hadn't gotten that far.
Yeah.
Had not gotten that
you
far.
got that far. In your
no,
mind,
I really didn't.
No?
You gotta win the game first. You gotta get in the game first before
you'd have to wear a suit and tie every day. You couldn't do
no,
that.
That would be the first thing I changed.
Sweatsuit?
Why not? Velour tracksuit. Can you imagine the State of the Union?
Commander in sweatsuit, Mark Cuban.
Why not?
The protest, or at least kneeling before the anthem. I don't know if your team has talked about this. You got other things to worry about, but is there any policy that you have as the owner of the Mavs or the NBA has that would prevent this from happening?
Well, the NBA's got a policy that you're supposed to stand and face the flag during the national anthem. But, like we were just talking, Adam is very collaborative and open-minded. And, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for us to really impact American society and change how minorities and African Americans in particular are treated. And so I don't think you stand on legacy items, when you have such an amazing opportunity. And, I haven't had the discussion with our players about this, but, this is their league. They drive this league 100%. And, I'm going to be very supportive because, again, when the pandemic first hit and we closed down basketball the night we were playing, that was bigger than the NBA. That was the health and safety, of everybody. Now this is bigger than the NBA as well. And so we have, the players have a platform to get to really show what's important to them and hopefully have an impact on race relations in this country. And so, again, that's far more important than, some rules that were established in the 80s that may not be relevant today.
I wanted to quote you correctly. Are you planning on kneeling?
I don't know if I'll be allowed to be down by the floor, but if I can show, if I can act in unison and show support for our players, I'll certainly will.
What do you make of Kyrie Irving's comments here, Mark?
I don't know. I mean, you have to ask Kyrie on that. I'm sure he's got his logic. I don't know Kyrie at all. I haven't spoken to him.
When you realized that your star player was out of shape, did you place a phone call to your star player?
Oh no, I knew Luka was working out. That stuff about him being out of shape, yeah, because Luka and I text all the time, and he's really proud to show me his workout pictures. Really proud. And if Luka's lifting weights, he's taking pictures. Trust me. And
wait. So when you get selfies, and your wife said, "Oh, what do you got?" "Oh, it's a selfie, and it's actually from one of your players." Like, hey, I got somebody with their shirt off. Oh, no, it's Luka.
No, there are no "what are you wearing" selfies.
But how did it come out that he was not in shape?
I think that was a mistranslation from one of his coaches who was trying to make the point that he's not in game shape yet, but he's in good shape.
That's good. Hey, it's great. What do you have behind you? You got one thing that's hanging and then one thing it's not.
Oh, this is my little Shark Tank poster, so I always get to pitch, right? So you always selling. And that's an old broadcast.com thing that's been up there for a long time.
Other than the trophy, what would impress me the most about your memorabilia?
Probably when I first bought the Mavs and the first All-Star game I went to, Julius Erving was my hero growing up in Pittsburgh when I was a little kid. I mean, I literally went to the filming of The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh just to see Julius Erving from a distance. So one of my favorite pictures is a picture of me standing away from Julius Erving and one of my friends taking a picture. So it looks like I'm almost talking to Julius Erving. So that's my classic.
You've since spoken to Dr. J.
Yeah,
did you tell him about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, certainly did.
The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh?
Yes.
That was not a good movie.
They filmed it at the Civic Arena when I was a kid. and I took the 41B bus down to downtown Pittsburgh, and I snuck in through the back door, and I wasn't an extra, I didn't sign up, but I was watching in the wings while they were filming it. I'm just so excited.
That's great. Hey, it's great to talk to you, and hopefully we get this season started. But I do think football is got some question marks here. At least you guys got a head start with this bubble.
Well, we'll find out. We'll take the Hotel California approach, and you check in and you don't leave until you're eliminated. But everybody's learning every day. And we'll see what happens. Because the other thing, Dan, I'll mention real quick. This isn't just about the NBA. If we can't pull this off, what are college basketball and high school basketball and middle school basketball going to do? And we are going to be the template for them in a lot of respects on the things we learn and what we can communicate to everybody downstream. So again, this is another situation where it's bigger than just the NBA, and it's bigger than just basketball.
But do you think that the teams that worked hard to get a home court advantage won't have a home court advantage? Were you in favor of giving these teams anything?
I don't know how we could do that. And again, that really wasn't even a topic of conversation. At least any of the conversations that I was in, it was more about the bigger picture. How can we do this safely? And again,
what if the Mavs had the number one seed?
What's that?
What if the Mavs had the number one seed?
I'd be like, we got to play all the games in Dallas.
Well, I did wonder this, Mark, and I don't know, could we have gotten to the point where the Eastern Conference and Western Conference teams played each other, or maybe just the finals played each other, and then so they were traveling there instead of staying in Orlando in this bubble?
We have to listen to the scientists who tell us what to do and how to do it best. The one thing we can't compromise on is doing our best to keep everybody safe. And so, the more you travel, the more people involved, the more locations involved, the more difficult it is. So I think we came up with the right approach, and we'll learn, and then we'll just cross our fingers and hope that we get a vaccine. So by the time next season rolls along, we'll have, more ammunition to try to deal with this.
Will there be an asterisk attached to this season?
No more than 1999. Everybody said 1999, there'd always be an asterisk, and, no one remembers.
I said that to people. I go, when the Spurs won the title, there was nobody brings that up at all. And they go, wait, what happened?
Or even the year, 2012, when there was a 66-game post-lockout season.
Yeah.
Right? No one brought that up. And that was a big deal because you were playing back-to-back-to-back games to get 66 games stuck into a season. And so that was even more difficult. And so, no, people don't look at that. People just look at the rings on your finger.
Once again, he let Steve Nash get away. He's
that's only 16 years ago. 16 years ago.
Do you think Nash has moved on from it? He's
no.
Okay.
Every time I see him, he gives me that look. He won't say it, but he gives me that look. But we kind of put it behind us. We went out and had a couple of drinks one day, and I think we got past it.
But Phoenix had Kidd, KJ, and Nash on the roster at the same time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Can't imagine what practice must have been like for those guys.
Yeah, a lot of passing.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Good luck with Shark Tank as always, and be safe. Thank you, Mark.